Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Fitness Education Series produced by the Australian Fitness Academy. It's like progressive overload for your brain. I'm your host, Tom Rock, and in today's episode we're going to talk about the benefits of including regular cardiovascular exercise in your program. But I just want to touch firstly on the importance of understanding the benefits of cardiovascular training, but also resistance training, mobility training, or any sort of goal-orientated training that we want to or may be implementing with our clients. It's important to be able to explain the benefits to our clients. It's going to help with exercise adherence and them seeing the reason behind what they're doing. I think is really important for them to sort of buy into the program or buy into the exercise or buy into whatever you're prescribing. If we just tell them or they don't see the reason behind what they're doing, it can be a lot harder for them to be motivated or stay motivated for a longer period of time. And I guess the example sort of here that we'll talk about is cardiovascular training and the benefits of it, but there could be lots of scenarios where a situation like this occurs where a client may have been told by their GP that they need to lose weight or get healthier, so they've come to learn to exercise, and you're in charge of prescribing them a program that's going to help with weight loss and overall health. And within that program is cardiovascular exercise. And it may be a client similar to that, or it could be a client who's just mainly focusing on resistance training and hypertrophy for their goals. But you also want to include cardiovascular training for its health benefits and the positive impact it's going to help on have on their health, but also assist with their goal of hypertrophy training based on improving recovery and ability to manage higher training volumes, all these sort of things. So it's important to be able to, I think, explain this to clients and get a good understanding of the benefits of different types of training. And you will have learnt these through your Cert 3 and your Cert 4, or you if you're studying with us, or it's something you can sort of reflect back on later if you've already got your qualifications. But having it in your mind a little bit as well when you are talking to clients is important, rather than saying, oh, you should do cardiovascular exercise because it's good for you. Having a little bit more detail around it, it can be a good thing when discussing with clients and trying to help them out and get them motivated or sort of see the positives of what they're going to do. Because if you're trying to implement exercise that you don't inherently like, it can be good to see a reason for doing it. So if you currently don't do any cardio and you know it's good for you, knowing the benefits, or if some people don't like resistance training or they sort of find resistance training boring, what are the benefits of resistance training? Why should I do it? And the more you educate your client on what it's going to help with, short term and long term, the easier it is going to be for them to buy into it. So I thought it'd be good to do a quick little episode on the benefits of cardiovascular or including cardiovascular exercise in a program. It could be for any program, but this is obviously based on general health. But lots of clients will go to the gym, and if we're talking about weight loss, it can be people can lose weight by just restricting the calories they're eating and eating less kilojoules than they need, and they'll slowly start to lose weight. You potentially don't have to exercise to lose weight, but it will help in that. It'll maintain muscle mass potential for doing resistance training, and cardiovascular training can help us burn some kilojoules, but it's also going to improve our health, which I think is important for people to understand and sort of grasp, so that they can sort of stay motivated to do cardiovascular exercise, or you can help them find a modality of cardiovascular exercise that they enjoy. There's lots of good information out there on the benefits of training, from government websites to research articles, and I'll link some of these in the description that I'm going to talk about. But the first one, and you don't have to overcomplicate it, I think, and we'll look at some examples. But for example, there's the healthdirect.gov.au is a sort of a government initiative website, and it's got a page that talks about the benefits of, or the health benefits of, cardiovascular exercise, And it just lists them, and there's lots of them. So it can improve mood and reduce stress, strengthens your heart and helps blood vessels work well, strengthens bones, muscles, and joints, helps reduce heart disease risk and lower or manage blood pressure and cholesterol. It helps to manage weight, which also lowers the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes, as well as some types of cancer. It can increase your energy levels, helps you sleep better, and it can help lower the risk of dementia later in life. So that's a quick little list of positive benefits that are linked to performing regular cardiovascular exercise. And by no means is it extensive, but it's very all-encompassing. It's very general, and if you discuss any of those things with a client, they're going to understand what it means, which is a good thing. So you generally want to keep the information you give clients relatively easy to interpret, but it is good to be able to discuss it as well. Most of the benefits of cardiovascular exercise, again, when we sort of talk about programming and designing cardiovascular exercise, we usually talk about, sometimes we're talking about goal orientations, like I want to be faster, or I want to be fitter, I want to improve my 5K time trial, I'm training for a fun run, all these sorts of things. But we can have sort of health orientated goals too, and it's probably where the benefits of cardiovascular lie outside of performance benefits is in our health. So generally, and there's another, these sort of dot points are from another article, Exercise and Cardio Health by Jonathan Myers in 2003. And I guess he summarized, or it's the paper summarized the health benefits of cardiovascular exercise include increases in exercise tolerance, reductions in body weight, reductions in blood pressure, reductions in the bad cholesterol, so that's the LDL cholesterol, increases in good cholesterol, which is the HDL cholesterol, and an increase in insulin sensitivity, which is, again, that sort of relates back to the risk of type 2 diabetes, and reducing that. So these are all health-related benefits of cardiovascular exercise. How you discuss this with our client will depend on each circumstance. But if a client is saying, I don't like cardiovascular exercise, why is it in my program, or anything like that, it's good to have reasons why it's important, so it can sort of get them to understand why they're doing it. And I think this goes along with trying to find a mode of cardio exercise that they enjoy. Some people don't like running, some people don't like riding bikes, some people don't like the rower ergometer. Find something that they're happy to do. If they like long, slow distance, prescribe that. Give them options of potential intervals, so start and stop, shorter rest periods, shorter work efforts at maybe a higher intensity. It could be Tabata training on the battle ropes or med ball slams. Find some sort of mode of cardio exercise that they enjoy, and that's also going to play a big part in how they feel about completing the exercise. So that's always a good thing to do too. And there's lots of information out there. There's another article, Cardiovascular Effects and Benefits of Exercise, by Matthew and Aruni in 2018. And that's a bit more, I'll put the link in the description as well. It's a bit more detailed, a bit more, I guess, scientific in terms of it looks at what causes these improvements in health via cardiovascular exercise. It looks a little bit more into detail into the heart, the blood vessels, what's happening in the blood. So it does go into more detail in terms of the effects that cardiovascular training has on different organs within the body, I guess. So it talks about resting heart rate changes. It talks about mitochondrial biogenesis. It talks about plasma lipid profiles, insulin sensitivity, basically oxygen carrying capacity of our blood. All these sorts of things are what help cardiovascular training improve the function of our cardiovascular system. But I think a section of it, the discussion section, sums up pretty well in terms of that the study shows that a 2-year high-intensity exercise program decreases left ventricular stiffness in previously sedentary middle-aged participants. Which this suggests that some extent beginning exercise even later in life can be effective in reversing structural and functional changes in the cardiovascular system associated with aging and or disease state such as heart failure. So I guess that summary it's a sort of a good way. It generalizes some of the more technical information that this study talks about in terms of reducing disease and how cardiovascular exercise does that, into that it sort of demonstrates that studies show that even if you take a middle-aged sedentary male, in this case, but we can hopefully look to increase the research around it, but even later in life, if you haven't started, if you didn't exercise from a younger age, or you're looking to start exercise later in life, you can still improve your health through cardiovascular training later in life, and you're still going to see positive effects on the cardiovascular system, the efficiency of their heart, the blood vessels, insulin sensitivity, all these good things that cardiovascular exercise can do for us. We can still see benefits later in life if we haven't sort of done too much of it early in life. So I think that's a really good point. They can be applicable to a lot of clients who come in and maybe have been told that they need to get healthier, exercise to reduce their risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, these sort of things, that no matter what age they are or want to get started, it's never too late, and they can see benefits from cardiovascular training. And then you can be there to guide them on how to start, so starting nice and slow and slowly, progressively overloading that over a period of time, potentially educating them on different types of cardiovascular exercises so they can find something they enjoy, and guide them through that process of how to structure and include cardiovascular training exercise in their program. And if they have that understanding of why it's going to benefit them and the improvements they're going to get, not just in performance, but they're probably more focused on, well, how's it going to benefit my health? They're not there to run a better time at a 10K fun run or improve their marathon time. They're there because they're trying to improve their health. So understanding that cardiovascular training is going to reduce or manage your blood pressure, hopefully lower blood pressure, reduce risks of heart disease and type 2 diabetes, potentially improve mood, reduce stress, all these good benefits that you get from it. It's important to be able to explain this to clients. And I think that works for a range of different exercise types, whether it's resistance, cardio, again, like mobility, like I said. The more we can help our clients understand our reason for prescribing it, hopefully the better their adherence or exercise adherence is going to be. Anyway, guys, I'll put some links to those resources in the description of the podcast, but hopefully get a bit out of that. My thoughts on, I guess, why it's good to understand what exercise does for us and the ability to explain that to a client. And also, that should give you a quick snapshot on some of the benefits of including cardiovascular exercise in your program. If you've got any questions on this episode, guys, or you have any topics or questions you'd like me to answer or discuss, please email tom@afa.com.au. I'm happy to cover any topics or answer any questions that you guys have. Other than that, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you all soon.